Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And here we are after our Knight versus Dragon battle, and it doesn't get much more D&D than that. But anyway, I've already changed Animan's equipment back to normal, and now the last thing left for us to do is to revive Imoen, loot some stuff, and get back to liberating Suldanessellar. So once we get her re-equipped quickly, we're going to be able to be on our way again. Now we also have her boots here. Let's go back to Animan, and we have her amulet.
Yes.
Right, also when it comes to that battle, I think I should have changed Animan's helmet in the later stages of the battle to this one. This is Dragon Helm. Because with Armor of Faith, his boots here, and the scroll of protection from fire, he was at 75% fire resistance and 75 electricity resistance, and this helm would have rounded up those resistances nicely to 100, and that would have been more beneficial than just keeping on the Helm of Baldur. But anyway, now let's take a look at what treasures this dragon has for us. First, there are some projectiles, most notably the 5 arrows of dispelling. Next we have some jewelry, and basically we're just going to stash this star sapphire separately for some crafting in Throne of Bhaal. Basically, let's actually take a look. We already have a diamond, we have a king's tears, and we have 1 star sapphire. We're going to need 5 more of those, 2 more rogue stones, and 1 emerald, and those are going to be all of the different jewels that we are going to need in Throne of Bhaal. And we're going to get those no problem. Anyway, next up we have this Goblet of Life, which is the 3rd and last artifact we need to summon the avatar of Rillifane, and now we are going to be able to do it. And finally we have this Bladesinger's Chain, which Edwin can identify, which is just a highly enchanted chainmail of the variety that allows you to still cast spells and use your thieving abilities in it. And this is actually a decent armor for Herdelis, or some fighter thieves actually. And you know what, since Janssen Adventurer is so powerful, let's actually use this Bladesinger chain on Karenai for just a little while, just so that we can, probably once we go into Throne of Bhaal, we are going to go back to our trusty Janssen Adventurer again. Here, of course, this is a magically enchanted armor, so we had to de-equip that Ring of Protection. But yeah, Karenai is going to be a little bit more colorful with it, and it actually glows green, as you will see, but now we can't see because of the spell effect, but perhaps later on we're going to be able to see that effect. But anyway, we have to hold on to it, we have to hold on to that armor anyway, because it is an upgradable item in Throne of Bhaal, and just as a reminder, I am of course going to craft everything and upgrade everything in Throne of Bhaal. We have already done all of the crafting we could in Shadows of Amn with Cromwell, but of course in Throne of Bhaal there is Sespinar, and he's going to have a lot of different possible deals for us. Here also I've before we summon the avatar of Rillifane, we have one more encounter to do, which after we summon the avatar, it's not going to be available. It's in front of the palace, and also I have missed 2 very small stashes in Suldanessellar, like this one. They basically don't really have anything, but anyway, here I'm going to quick save, just to showcase a very minor thing. Here's this guy convinced that we are an illusion, and if we say that we were sent by Elhan, and kind of just be honest with him, he is going to be convinced and open the gate. But if you speak to him with a high intelligence character, like Senashira, we are going to have a different dialogue option here available, saying that illusions exist through belief, and we can convince him that way to open the gate.
What is it?
Anyway, there's one of these stashes here, and one of them we're going to visit a little bit later. Anyway, we also have a level up to do in Senashira, so let's actually do that before I forget. And this is going to be a really nice one. An additional level 6 memorization slot, level 9 also, and from the high level abilities we're going to get the level 8. So some nice boosts for Senashira. Let's just give her something for now. We're going to really think on it later. I guess the next time we rest.
Yes.
Alright, so here there's going to be some survivors. like Captain Aduo'on. We can inform him about Elhan, of course, evacuating the town. And from this guy, we can actually get to know how Irenicus arrived here in Suldanessellar, actually riding the Black Dragon. That's cool. That must have been quite an entrance. But anyway, also this guy, I think, tells us about it. Yeah, we saw the Exile fly in astride a terrible black dragon. Its acid breath rained down even as elementals, golems, and demons appeared inside the walls. Pretty cool. And then here, Reyra. This is the only difference that we're going to experience with having Demon not alive anymore. And, you know, we're not really going to divulge the details, I guess. We have seen her die. But, you know, she's just an unfortunate casualty of war, you know. I guess that just comes with the territory of being a ball spawn. You never know who you're going to kill. Or she might have been maybe one of those shape-shifting Rakshasa trying to deceive us. Or you know what? I know what it was. Senashira, in her weakened state, after dealing with not having a part of her soul for so long, slipped on a banana peel and just accidentally had her Cromfair land on Demon's head and kill her with a critical hit. That's what it was. Just clumsy Senashira. Anyway. That's very unfortunate, though, that the one person that I actually like from here actually died by our hand, no less. But anyway, of course we can ask her how to summon the avatar Rillifane. She's basically going to repeat the same thing. Yeah, she's not going to be able to do this. It was Demon that left to collect the relics, but of course, you know, there were too many opponents and enemies for her to be able to do that. And also, when you talk to Reyra, I think I might have clicked through that a little bit too quickly if you want to pause, as always, and to read for yourself. But she can actually heal us. We might actually demonstrate. But this takes far too long for her to like cast her healing spells. So I'm not going to engage too more in that. But anyway, near the palace there's going to be a Balor, and since Balors have these Vorpal hits available to them, we have to pre-buff with Death Wards. But also Balors can remove magic pretty effectively. So we are going to actually use a scroll of spell immunity to abjuration on Senashira. Because she has one spell immunity memorized, but we want to hold off or hold on to it for a later encounter. Because this one is not going to last too long, so even casting it from a scroll, of course, means that it's only going to last for 10 rounds. But we don't really need it to last any longer. Actually, I'm going to first cast some mirror images and then the spell immunity. Perhaps before some of our other buffs dissipate here. Actually, we're going to just enter with Senashira alone. Perhaps he's going to be incentivized to use that to remove magic here. There are also some of these other elves, but one of them, I think, does not really sound like the others.
What has happened to the queen? What has happened to the...
If you start running, you might just make it home alive.
That's a pretty ballsy thing to say being in front of a Balor, especially an SCS Balor. Of course, they have the aura of Flaming Death permanently active on them. He can remove magic. He has the Vorpal hits that permanently kill the target. Has a chance to do that, and has almost 200 HP, and you know it's pretty dangerous. Oh yeah, has that Stone Skin also active. Can breach, actually, but of course spell immunity to abjuration makes us immune to breach. And actually, let's have Kirinai try to add some damage from afar, and let's just have Animan and Jaheira be prepared here. I don't want... well, actually, if a remove magic dispels their death wards, I'm just going to pull them back. Yeah, here was that remove magic, and it seems like Jaheira's death ward is still on her, but Animan's one got dispelled, so fall back. Alright, boom. 26,000 experience for us, and yeah, after that avatar of Rillifane is summoned, the Balor is not there anymore. Alright, so now we are ready to go to the temple. And by the way, I also wanted to mention something about the lore. When it comes to Rillifane, it's basically the elven kind of guardian god of the elves. He's the protector of the woods and nature in general, and he only really appears in his avatar form in defense of elven cities and settlements, so it's very true to the lore in how he makes his appearance in Baldur's Gate 2. But also, since we're talking about the lore, I also wanted to mention that Bladesinger chain, because Bladesingers, of course, are the famous, iconic fighter mages of the elves, but they are more than just fighter mages. They are basically champions and protectors of the elven people, and heroes that travel between elf settlements and defend their kinsmen from different threats, and they fight using that blade song technique, which is a defensive fighting style that combines mastery of the sword with a graceful dance-like style. And to be thorough, there are Bladesingers specializing with other weapons too, organized in separate warrior lodges, but that is far more rare than fighting with the longsword, which is the trademark weapon for most of them. So anyway, a pretty notable armor here we have now in our possession. But anyway, now let's get our artifacts. And summon the Leafy Lord. The Leafy Dude.
All will be done that can be done. The avatar of the great oak stands before you, mortals. What transpires here that requires the attention of the Leaf Lord?
This line, by the way, is when he enters. If there are any other opponents present, he's just going to kill them and then initiate his normal conversation, this one. Ah, the Exile has returned. He who once was of the elves but is no longer, survives yet. Once again he commits his sacrilege against the Tree of Life. The Exile protects himself with power that corrupts nature. I cannot touch him. He holds she who is of my blood imprisoned within corruption. He uses her link to the Tree of Life to drain its power. So of course Ellesime and her divine link, I guess, was mentioned before. The Exile seeks to join the Suldanessellar. The Exile seeks to become a god, as he sought once before. And just a little clarification. The Suldanessellar are basically the elven pantheon. The first of the Suldanessellar would never permit it. The Tree of Life must not perish, or our children will suffer. The spirits of this wood will be called to defeat the evil that the Exile has brought into our midst. Rise, spirits. It is I, Rillifane Ralathil, of the Suldanessellar, who calls you. Defend our children this day. And you, mortal, you seek to defeat the Exile. Free she who is of my blood from his corruption, and she will sever the link he uses. He always, interrupts us. Can I, finish a sentence here? Why are you so rude? Dude? The Exile blocks your way, sealing the gates to the great palace. I shall unseal them. It is done. I can do no more. Wow, some god you are. But anyway, he is going to call upon those spirits, who are just going to disintegrate everyone. So now basically Suldanessellar is saved from the immediate threat of Irenicus' forces, I guess. They are going to do some cleanup here. But of course the Tree of Life is still threatened by Irenicus, and the very foundation, I guess, of the connection that elves have with nature. And here Reyra is going to appear, and now we're going to be able to trade with her. And actually she has some premium prices, almost as good as Rybald had. Also Rillifane here gave us this Staff of the Woodlands, which is actually a pretty nice staff. It's nice for Cern, for example, or even if you have a two-handed based fighter thief, like a Kensai thief. If Kira and I had Grandmaster in quarter saves, this would be a decent weapon to use for a while, until some better stuff later on. And it has 20 charges to have this enhanced charm animal, and also summon this shambling mound, which at this point is a pretty weak summon with just nothing special about it. It just has 60 hit points and no resistances, basically nothing really noteworthy about it. But I think I'm just going to hold on to that staff for a little while to maybe summon that shambling mound at some point, just to showcase it. But yeah, the only thing about that shambling mound is that it has the potential to hit pretty hard, but for up to 40 damage, but he only has one attack per round at a pretty bad Thaco. So not really that useful, just a little bit of a distraction. And yeah, of course, now she is very grateful for summoning Rillifane, and she is going to therefore offer us some goods at some low prices. And I'm just going to get a couple of things for Kirinai just for later. We have a lot of these protective scrolls for her saved up already, so we're not really going to be probably able to go through all of them. But I am going to get at least these stone skins. And yeah, breaches are always nice to have in scroll form, and this Pierce Magic is going to be nice. And we also can sell some stuff. I think I also wanted to sell, yeah, these things from Jahiera. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for a little while. Alright, and now we can also have another conversation with Elhan, the last kind of unique conversation with him.
It is a sight of wonder watching the Guardians as they sanctify our streets once more. You have done well. The way to Irenicus will now be less dangerous, though the mage himself will still prove a deadly foe. Seek him out. Destroy his influence once and for all.
Alright.
What is it?
Perhaps, okay, we're not as quick, so we are going to be able to see these elven spirits on the streets, just disintegrating all the enemies. And here's that other secret stash.
Yes?
Anyway, here I think there's, oh yeah, there's that sand golem, and with our Cromfair we should be able to, boom, too slow, elven spirit, too fast for ya.
Yes, without having
And these guys, of course, are going to be really grateful for summoning, you know, for experiencing, I guess, the presence of the elven spirits now defending Suldanessellar. And yeah, now there is nothing left for us, nothing else left for us to do but to just proceed to the palace, which is now unsealed. We can open the door. Normally they are locked. And yeah, the final parts of Shadows of Amn really are going to commence here. Also, we have some level ups to do. Jaheira, of course, leveled up in Fighter. It's going to be a long, long while before she is going to be able to get a Druid level up. But anyway, we can give her another high level ability, and I think we were going to give her Critical Strike and then perhaps one Smite later on. And then Kirinai also has a level up. Let's just pump up her stealth, I guess. And as for her high-level abilities, I think we're going to now delve a little bit into the traps. We're going to get a Spike Trap, then perhaps a Time Stop Trap. Perhaps later on we're also going to get another Avoid Death, another use of that, so that she can have two. And there's not really going to be any necessity to have more than that. And probably just the only thing left for her high-level abilities is just going to, you know, be getting like more Spike and Time Stop Traps, really. They're just so good. Anyway, here, this tree has some nuts for us to pick up. Of course, as always, feel free to pause and read all of the descriptions. But yeah, we have to get these nuts. We are going to be in need of them for later. And there are two types of them. These larger ones that are going to create branches for us where we're going, and create additional passages through that. And here these four large Tree of Life nuts actually work like healing potions. They heal 55 hit points. We only have 4 of them for now, but yeah, we're going to hold on for them, or hold on to them for some other occasions later on. Here is actually a really nice looking area, these waterfalls here. And here we can use the stone harp and the stone horn to like complete these statues. And it's actually going to be, once this description disappears, it's actually going to be visible that now this guy has or this statue has the harp, and this one is going to get the horn. And now that this is completed, the waterfalls are going to dissipate and we're going to be able to go downstairs. And here this is going to be a pretty cool moment. Like the last chance, I guess, to reconsider for our party members
What is it?
when it comes to following us to a very dangerous encounter. You feel a tingling as you approach the stairs, a familiar touch which you instinctively recognize as your own soul. Irenicus is near, in the next room. You pause, knowing that you may not survive the battle to come. You have little choice, however. Without your soul, your fate is a grim and certain one. You turn and regard those who remain in your party. You feel a need, perhaps, to ascertain their loyalty, their friendship, or to offer a chance to reconsider. Imoen, your sister and steadfast friend, who has changed so much in the time you have known her. Shadows circle her eyes, but she smiles as she notices your gaze. And here we always have like 3 different conversation options. One that I'm not going to use is like, you have to stay with me now. Like now's the final encounter. Do not back down from it. And the other ones are kind of offering them to not endanger themselves, saying that this is not really their fight. They don't have to risk their life. But anyway. Irenicus hurt me too, He kept me in that asylum and experimented on me and took my soul like it was an appetizer. I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you all the way. Edwin, who once promised a year of service, but isn't the sort to keep his word. Yet the Red Wizard remains, keeping his own counsel and motivations secret. So, of course, after our offer for him to perhaps reconsider, and where do you suppose I should be going? You have a nose that seems to sniff out the path to power, and I will wrest what portion of it I wish until I am sated, and then perhaps we see what becomes of you. Jaheira, proud and resolute, she has been with you since the beginning, practically. She knows you well and has suffered loss at the hands of Irenicus as well. Long ago I promised to assist you if your adopted father fell. That promise has not expired, nor has your worthiness. I stand with you if you will have me. So yeah, Jaheira, of course, reliable and cool as always. Anomen, cleric of... should be just cleric of Helm, not the Helm, and hearty warrior. He has been tested perhaps the most of all of your companions. He began seeking fame. Why does he remain? And here, because we have, had the beginning of the romance with him and broke the romance at some point, his line is going to be slightly different. Things may have changed since I first laid eyes upon you in the tavern, Sinashira, but I refuse to back away from a fight. Whether we are victorious or we fall today, I could not live with myself should I fight with anything less than all I possess. So of course all of our companions are willing to follow us, and there is nothing more to be said. Without a further word, you turn grimly back to the stairs before you. Your soul awaits. Yeah!
Speak, direct me as you will.
Let us go.
Wait! Who comes? You are the child of Baal, aren't you? The one that John boasted of stealing power from. He claimed to have slain you.
He very nearly did, and I intend to return the favor. Here's Ellesime, of course, the one that we have seen in our dreams before. She is the queen of the elves. She introduces herself. That was unnecessary of me. I am Ellesime, queen of Suldanessellar. Joneleth has me at the center of the tree, trapped in a cage of corruptive magics. This is as far as I have been able to send my image. Joneleth, the one you know as Irenicus, he is drawing power from the Tree of Life into himself. There are parasites attached to the tree, drawing it for him. I do not know what manner of parasites these things are, but they are formed from corruption itself, I fear. They feed Joneleth the power and maintain my cage. Whether you are here to save my people or simply kill he who has tormented you, I care not. One thing must be done. The parasites on the Tree of Life must die. Do that, and I can sever John's connection to the tree. Then, and only then, might he be killed. I believe he has protected the parasites somehow. I do not know. Hurry. Yes, he has severed branches. Use the nuts from the palace gardens. They will grow new branches on the tree. You can use them to cross. Do it quickly, child of Baal. If John drains the Tree of Life, all of Suldanessellar is doomed, and John will have the power he craves. Please, you must stop him.
Yes? What is it?
Right, so here's another
Will be done.
little pocket with basically nothing. And yeah, here we are, on the branches of the Tree of Life, I guess. Here
Yes,
just
certainly.
wanted to show you this kind of incomplete staircase. And yeah, there are going to be 3 parasites.
Speak without
And here
doubt.
when we approach certain places, we are going to be able to create these passages from the nuts we have gathered earlier. And here's the first parasite, and basically when we want to attack it, it's going to spawn some guardians. And now SCS should have really buffed up these guardians a lot. SCS basically does nothing with them for some reasons, because at this point they are just so super easy. And what is even more confusing, I guess, is that in the Underdark, when you, if you remember those elemental gates that we have battled some elementals at while trying to help Vithel, the mage, when he was going through them, there were basically, you know, always a greater elemental spawning some others, and having a unique spell. And here, there's just going to be two normal elementals of earth, air, and fire, and basically like nothing special there is to say about them. And here I have equipped Kira and I with a Staff of Earth, and then later we're going to use the Staff of Air and Staff of Fire just for a little bit of a variety, just to showcase that they have the potential of killing elementals of their given type instantly. And there's actually a comment back in the Underdark suggesting that you know, I perhaps use those. And of course this is way more trouble than it is worth, but come on, Kira and I. Boom! Alright, you did it. You did it. We can now stash that staff. And now we are going to be able to kill the parasite. Now it's dead and no longer a threat. And we can progress. Here's also a different passage here that we can use the nuts. It's entirely unnecessary to go through here.
What is it?
The other parasite, as you might have noticed, is near the rest of our party. Here's John and Ellesime. Hello there, fellas. There's nothing for us to do here yet. We cannot talk to them. Anyway, the second parasite, there are some air elementals. So we're going to give you this staff this time, Kira and I, and now do your best here. Alright, boom. First swing. Pretty cool. we have demonstrated this fantastic use of these staves.
Certainly.
Yes, excellent. There's only one more that needs to be destroyed. Already I can see this cage beginning to fade.
Once you kill the last parasite, I will begin to sever his connection. You will need to come to the center of the tree where Irenicus and I are, quickly.
The energy he has stolen from the tree will be torn from him. I know not what effects this will have. It may kill us all. But John will be weak and disoriented, so you must kill him quickly. Finish it quickly! I feel the tree of life dying. John is drawing too close to his goal.
Lady, say quickly one more time and I'm out of here. Alright, I guess Irenicus' script's just loaded. You might have noticed a moment of lag there. Yeah, here we can use the last nuts to create the last passage. And there's the last parasite, and before we really engage it, I'm just going to explore a little bit more of the whole map, and we are going to pre-buff for our fight against Irenicus. And the fight against Irenicus, it depends how it will go. Chances are it's not going to be too impressive at this point in the game. He should have been buffed way more as well. Also here I think you can see a little bit of that green glow of the Bladesinger chain. Kira and I looks... well, she looks colorful in it, let's just say. Here we're going to use the Staff of Fire. But yeah, before we do, let us just pre-buff with some of our stuff here. Our usual kind of long duration buff setup. We don't have much more chaotic commands, actually, but it shouldn't really matter all that much. And I think these chaotic commands I will give to Anuman, I think, because he has some spells that we might have a need to use, like remove paralysis on something we don't really want Anuman to be disabled. And yeah, we also have great saving throws working to our advantage. It shouldn't be a big deal. And we're going to have magic protections on our mages. I think we might as well give like iron skins to Jaheira perhaps. And yeah, on our mages, I think we're going to have a round of spell shields here. Next we're going to have a round of mirror images. So before that I should have buffed up a little bit with protection from magical energy, I think, and protection from fire perhaps. I think the other one I'm going to give to Edwin, just to keep him safe from some unfortunate horrid wilting, perhaps.
I shall go forth at your command. Speak your mind. Point the sword, and I shall strike.
Speak.
Okay, and now we can... I think we're going to haste everybody.
Yes?
And finally give our mages some globes and spell immunities to abjuration, and we're going to be finished.
What is it?
Master, what should I fetch now?
You wouldn't hurt him.
Oh, come on, Kernai. Oh, he saved against that effect. Let's just kill the other one normally, I guess. Oh.
Certainly.
Have to be pretty precise with our clicking. Alright, there we go. Let's just re-equip Kernai as she is supposed to be equipped. And now let's actually target the guy properly.
What is it?
Do not wander around looking for trouble in the evening hours.
What? Who dares?
I dare. Your plans are ruined, Irenicus. You will die here. But anyway, before we go on with this conversation, this is actually a great one, especially when it comes to Irenicus. Irenicus's voice actor, David Warner, here just gives an excellent performance.
You live yet. You have less than a fraction of your soul, and yet somehow you continue to oppose me? The power of the tree is gone from me. You have been successful in your little scheme, insect, but now this ends. I will take great pleasure in eradicating such a nuisance as you, and then I shall re-establish my link, join with the tree once again. I shall find a way. I shall have the power.
No, Joneleth, you shall not.
No, Joneleth. She is so annoying. Like, who is she to say that he is not going to have any power? Like, you are barely doing anything, although I guess she did sever his connection with the tree, but of course it's us doing all the work. And actually, she's going to, after this conversation ends, she's going to just teleport away, of course.
Who? Ellesime?
Yes, it is I, your queen. Twice now you have attempted this sacrilege, and nearly destroyed us all. You will not do this again, Joneleth.
Do not call me that. I lost all right to that name when the Suldanessellar stripped me of everything that was elven, as you well know.
And what shall I call you instead? Irenicus? Shattered One? Yes, it was a terrible punishment, but you violated everything we hold dear. You nearly destroyed us all. And for what? Power? Is that all you exist for now, John?
It is all I have now, Ellesime. There is nothing else beyond my revenge. Revenge for what you did to me, that the Suldanessellar did to me.
And your revenge has poisoned your heart. The tree touched you once long ago. Do you remember nothing of it? Is there nothing in your heart that remembers love? Is there nothing within you that remembers our love? What we once shared before this obsession doomed you?
I do not remember your love, Ellesime. I've tried. I've tried to recreate it, to spark it anew in my memory, but it is gone. A hollow, dead thing. For years I clung to the memory of it. Then the memory of the memory, and then nothing. The Suldanessellar took that from me too. I look upon you and feel nothing. I remember nothing but you turning your back on me along with all the others. Once my thirst for power was everything, and now I hunger only for revenge. And I will have it!
Yeah!
And I pity you. Would that you had used your stolen mortal years to earn your return to this sacred place. I could have loved you anew as I loved the man you once were. But I see nothing of him here. You are Irenicus, and all that awaits you now is death.
We shall see, my former love. We shall see.
Oh man, that like monologue by Irenicus here, that this part is just wow. When he says that he's going to have revenge, like I can't help but like cheer him on every time. But yeah, of course, now we have all of the answers. Of course, Ellesime and Irenicus were lovers once in his previous life when he was just an elven mage of Suldanessellar, and that's of course why he had that room of Ellesime in his dungeon with nothing touched. That room still held, you know, it was actually mentioned by Aduo'on and the Dryads that you know, if something was able to hurt him, would be like demolishing this room that he still held in such a high regard. He touched nothing in that room. And this is also the Dryads, by the way, or the nymphs that he had in his dungeon, refer to what he said here, that he tried to basically spark these feelings inside himself. So of course the Dryads and nymphs, the Sirens in general, are the type of creatures that, you know, instill that kind of obsessive love emotion in men, and nothing could be done for him. He was just cold inside, even with such creatures present. So he tried, obviously, different methods to try to like remember and I guess recreate these feelings, invoke those feelings in himself, but there was nothing that could be done. Also, you know, this punishment that he was subjected to, this curse, you know, it's very similar to what we're going through, our protagonist, what she is going through right now, I guess. And that is also why when he was about to perform the ritual on us in Spellhold, severing, you know, a large part of our soul and transferring it to himself, when you use a certain conversation option, he says that he regrets what he's about to do because he knows what effects such a curse has on a person. And of course he knows that very well because of what he has gone through. But anyway, of course, there's going to be...
You are but a gnat compared to my power.
didn't want to talk over his line there, that we are just a gnat compared to his power. But of course, this is going to lead to a fight. Now this is going to be an encounter with him that we'll see how this is going to go. It might not be too spectacular, but do not worry. This is not all that Shadows of Amn is going to have to offer for us, even if this is not the most epic of fights. So she goes to rouse Eilhan and the others while I'm still weak. So be it. I shall crush them all if need be. I retain your power yet, Senashira. Your soul still courses through me. Come and make your attempt to reclaim it, if you like. I have power enough to deal with you. And some of our companions are going to chime in. Your soul is borrowed, and it shall be returned. You are a blight upon nature, and you shall be destroyed. We're going to take back Senashira's soul if we have to rip it out of your chest, Irenicus, and you are going to hell, where you belong. This is a bit of a foreshadowing that I don't think Aduo'on realizes how accurate this is going to be. Anyway, first let's get a little bit of distance between us and Irenicus and allow to get his pre-buffs. We'll see if he's going to have some, perhaps a horrid wilting to greet us with. No. He, of course, has tons of stuff. Has improved invisibility, globe, spell turning, physical protections, of course, immunity to divination, actually, and he has 2 simulacrums. He has protection from magical weapons. And I think what we're going to do doesn't actually have spell shield, it seems. So he would be decently open to some dispels if we use, of course, Detect Illusion from Kirinai to bypass this immunity to divination and dispel his improved invisibility. We would be able to dispel him, but he also only has protection from magical weapons, so we are able to just switch to our normal weapons and just kind of overwhelm him with our brute force here. But anyway, first let's actually destroy his simulacrums before they perhaps pre-buff, and let's have that Detect Illusion going. There's also a Mordenkainen sword. Let's just quickly get rid of it with a death spell before it just perhaps unfortunately interrupts someone. Actually, just get to those guys. Alright, there are going to be some potential remove magics. Coming from the simulacrums, they might not be that effective, but Irenicus himself is a level 30 mage, so even our triple remove magic sequencer is not going to be too effective upon him, even though he is not immune to abjuration. But his remove magics are very likely to wipe out all of our buffs, and that already kind of happened with Jaheira. Alright, so he cast Wish, and he wished for the enemy's magical defenses to be utterly destroyed from this genie. But that casts Breach on everyone. But since we are, you know, on our mages, we are protected against abjuration. This did not affect us. But this Breach normally like bypasses different protections. But you know, since we are immune to the type of magic that this spell kind of belongs to or falls under, we were not dispelled on these characters. But of course, Kirinai, Animen, and Jaheira were affected by that Breach. And even though he has some fire shields, we could just kind of tank the damage and switch to our normal weapons. But I think just for the sake of this fight being a little bit more interesting, I think we are going to go and dispel his stuff. I think, yeah, his illusions were dispelled, so we are going to be able to target him now. And we don't actually have too many anti-magic spells left on us. Right, we do have a Pierce Magic on Edwin, and that's basically all we need, really, because he only has Spell Turning, and he doesn't have spell immunity to abjuration, which would necessitate some more dispels, because we would have to go through his globe and then spell immunity. But since he has nothing else, he doesn't have spell shield, we are going to be able to just dispel that and then breach him. And perhaps we're going to retreat some of our vulnerable party members now. Just have Senashira here able to occupy his attention. Alright, he did try to kind of counter our spell casting by just quickly going invisible, but our Pierce Magic did hit him. However, we do need to dispel his improved invisibility status once again. I think Imwan should have a breach ready. Yeah. He revealed himself, of course, because of his cast, but we cannot target him because his improved invisibility status is not yet dispelled. Imwan's spell shield got consumed by that Ruby Ray. Alright, what did you do there? Spell trigger with Breach, Chain Lightning, and Death Spell on Kirinai. It shouldn't really do too much to us. Just a little bit of damage. Now, let me just see if we had this... His illusions were not yet dispelled. Just, oh yeah, because I deactivated her detect illusions instead of activating it, like I thought. Alright, now his illusions are dispelled. So he did not renew any spell protections. We should be able to just breach him now. Alright, actually, let's get Kirinai out of there. Alright, now he has cast Absolute Immunity, which requires another breach. Alright, we were able to interrupt his next spell. He still might have a contingency or some kind of spell trigger with protections that he might want to unleash. We'll see how that's going to go.
You killed me.
No, it's not going to go anywhere. That is it.
This is not...
What is it?
Irenicus crumples, his words dying on his lips, and a strange quiet envelops the scene. You begin to wonder if you have finally won, if it is all truly over. It's finally over then. All those terrible things he did to us, and it's finally over. Or is it? Seneshira, something's not right. If this is victory, there is a question burning in the back of your mind. What about what he stole from you? What of your soul?
Speak.
You feel a small tug inside yourself, a pull that seems to come from the apparition that rose from Irenicus. It is gentle at first, but quickly becomes urgent. Within seconds you cannot breathe, drawn inexorably to where Irenicus fell. You are still connected to your stolen soul, but it is no longer among the living. Released in death, your stolen soul does not return to you. It is falling away from the mortal world, and you are being dragged along with it.
Yes?
The pain subsides, and you open your eyes to horror beyond imagining. It is an assault on your senses, a collection of nightmare sensations. This surely is hell. You slowly realize that you are not alone, that others were apparently so wounded in the battle with Irenicus that their souls will drag to a similar fate as yours. You doubt they will be pleased with their present circumstance when you don't even know why you are here yourself.
I feel so strange. I felt myself coming apart. My essence. I don't know. And there was this pulling, this force, and I knew it was you. I had to come with you. I just knew I had to. We're dead, aren't we? If I'm a child of Baal, shouldn't I be gone then? Just like Saravok? Irenicus said I was different, but I don't know. But I know I'll follow you wherever I can. But why didn't I follow Bodhi into wherever she went when she died? Unless it's because she was a vampire with no soul of her own. She just died, and there was only my own soul left. Or maybe it had something to do with your dying at the Tree of Life. I don't know.
It is not finished, is it? This is death, and your strange power has dragged me here with you. So be it then. We stand together until the end.
What manner of place is this? I have died and come here.
That pulling. You have brought me with you, Seneshira. Bah! I shall help you here if need be, but I wish to find a way out as well.
Eh? To the nine hells, is it? Yes, I felt your infernal power tugging at me, but I was coming here anyway. There might be profit yet by remaining at your side. We'll see.
And Edwin is just completely unperturbed at what happened. Oh, 9 hells? Yeah, whatever. Okay. There might be some power here to get. He is not impressed. But yeah, we are in hell, and of course, Imoen, without really realizing, I guess, was very accurate in what was about to happen for us, or to us. So yeah, of course, our connection to that broken soul of ours made us kind of descend into hell after Irenicus died. And Imoen already had some different theories as to why that might have happened. Also, one thing I would like to direct some attention to is after that ritual was performed on us in Spellhold, and we were like in that dreamlike state, the essence of Baal, the part of our soul there, told us that we are strange among our kin. So perhaps, you know, we are a different case and didn't just kind of disintegrate. The essence of Baal, you know, going into... well, we're going to learn more about that in Throne of Baal and the story of the expansion, but yeah, normally children of Baal don't die like others, being able to be resurrected and whatnot. They just kind of disintegrate, and their essence just goes back to the Throne of Baal. And yeah, but it was different for us, and yes, we are in hell, and we are going to see what's up and explore more of it in the next episode. So as always, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.